9. The Delhi Sultanate Part 1. The Delhi Sultanate was an Islamic empire based in Delhi that stretched over large parts of the Indian subcontinent for around 320 years. 5 dynasties ruled over the Delhi Sultanate sequentially for 320 years from 1206 to 1526. Among them, the first was the Slave dynasty that ruled for 84 years. Then came the Khalji dynasty which ruled only for 30 years. Then came the Tughlaq dynasty which was the longest dynasty of the Delhi Sultanate which ruled for 94 years. Then came the Sayyid dynasty ruled for 37 years, and then the last dynasty of the Delhi Sultanate was Lodi dynasty which ruled for 75 years. To understand the Delhi Sultanate, first we need to understand that how the Delhi Sultanate came into existence. The roots of the establishment of the Delhi Sultanate goes back to spread of Islam in India and early conquest of the Arabs. The Islamic culture was introduced in India by the Arabs who came to India as traders, and later on they started settling on the western coast of India. They got protection from Hindu rulers of Gujarat and were patronized by the Zamorin of Calicut. Then started the series of foreign invasions or foreign attacks in the beginning of the 8th century AD when the Arabs under Muhammad bin Qasim conquered the Indian territories of Sindh and Multan. But these victories were short-lived, means for a very short period, as Muhammad bin Qasim died in 716 AD. After the Arab invasion, it became relatively easy for other foreign tribes like the Turks and the Afghans to attack or to invade India. That finally led to the establishment of the Turkish rule in India. Among the Turk invaders, Mahmud of Ghazni invaded India several times and he raided or looted many cities including Mathura, Kannauj, Gwalior and Somnath and carried away its immense wealth to his own country. Mahmud of Ghazni never wished to build an empire in India. This dream of building an empire was fulfilled by Muhammad Ghori, who laid the foundation of the first Turkish rule in India or the first Muslim empire in India. And he conquered many places by defeating the Indian rulers. He fought two battles with Prithviraj Chauhan, first in 1191, the first battle of Tarai in which Muhammad Ghori was defeated by Prithviraj Chauhan, and then again in 1192, second battle of Tarai was fought between Muhammad Ghori and Prithviraj Chauhan in which Prithviraj Chauhan was defeated by Muhammad Ghori. After that, he defeated Raja Jaichand, the ruler of Kannauj. After that, he went back to Ghazni, leaving Qutbuddin Aibak, his trusted general, in charge of his territories in India. Then, when Muhammad Ghori died in 1206, left no male heir to succeed him. Qutbuddin Aibak declared himself as the Sultan of Delhi and he laid the foundation of the Delhi Sultanate under a new dynasty popularly known as the Slave dynasty. Total 5 dynasties ruled over the Delhi Sultanate. Sources to reconstruct the Delhi Sultanate. Sources are divided into two categories. First category is literary sources. These are the sources which are available to us in the written forms such as books, letters, journals. Second category is the archaeological sources. These are the sources which are basically available to us in material evidences like historical buildings, coins, inscriptions, and other remains related to a particular period. Literary sources. There are many literary sources which gives us information about the Delhi Sultanate, such as the Tariq-e-Firoz Shahi written by Ziauddin Barni. In this book, Ziauddin Barni gives us information about the period from the accession of Ghiyasuddin Balban to the first 6 years of reign of Firoz Shah Tughlaq. Next literary source is Prithviraj Raso. It is an epic poem written by Chandvardai, who was a court poet of Prithviraj Chauhan, who was the ruler of Ajmer and Delhi between 1165 and 1192. It also gives us an interesting account of Prithviraj Chauhan's deeds of courage and of his love. Next source of Delhi Sultanate are the writings of Minhaj-us-Siraj. In his book Tabaqat-e-Nasiri, he has given information about the reconstruction of the history of the first 50 years of Muslim rule in Bengal. Then the next one was a foreign traveler, Ibn Battuta, who reached Sindh in 1333 AD and spent many years at the court of Muhammad bin Tughlaq. In his book Rihala, he has given information about the reign of Muhammad bin Tughlaq. Archaeological sources. There are many archaeological sources that tells us about the religion, culture, language, social and political conditions of the Delhi Sultanate. Under this heading, first we will learn about monuments. Now, what are monuments? Monuments are buildings or structures of historical importance or interest to commemorate a notable person, event, or places. Massive buildings were built by Delhi sultans too. Among them, the most magnificent one was Qutub Minar. The construction of the Qutub Minar was started by Qutbuddin Aibak in 1199 AD when he was working as the viceroy of Muhammad Ghori, and it was completed by one of his successor Iltutmish in 1230 AD. It received its name from Qutbuddin, who was a Muslim saint of Ush near Baghdad. The main features of Qutub Minar: it is a circular tower with a height of 72.5 meters with 5 stories separated from each other through balconies with spiral stairway leading to each balcony. Spiral stairway means a set of stairs arranged in a circular pattern so that one can go around a central point as they get higher. The entrance to the tower is through the doorway on the northern side. Red sandstone, marble and grey quartzite, these materials were used for its construction, and it had writings on the walls of the Qutub Minar with floral motifs, means flowers and images carved on its walls. Second, archaeological sources that provide information about the Delhi Sultanate are the inscriptions. Inscriptions are writings carved on hard surfaces like metal, stone walls, rocks and pillars. The mosques, tombs, minars, palaces and other buildings that were built during the Delhi Sultanate period were engraved with decorative lettering, means decorative writing in Persian language that provides a valuable source of information related to political, social and religious history of the age of Delhi Sultanate. The Hindu scriptures have inscriptions written in Sanskrit and Hindi language. The Pehuva inscription of the Pratihara king Mahendrapala suggests that Delhi was founded in 736 AD by the Tomars, but that was a clan of the Rajputs who, uh, who belonged to Haryana region with Dilika or Delhi as their capital. The Sarban inscription found in the village of Sarban in South Delhi contains a brief account of the history of Delhi until the reign of Muhammad Tughlaq. Inscriptions were written in different languages like Sanskrit, Arabic, Persian and many other languages. Shows linguistic synthesis means linguistic, unity means unity in language, harmony and cooperation between the people of India. Inscriptions also tells about the endowments and gifts given to the religious and charitable institutions.